Hey y'all, what's up? Willis here. Today I wanted to show you how to do the assembly on a 5-piece wood cabinet door. It's pretty basic. You see here I've got all my pieces cut out. I've actually milled all these pieces previously. So I've got all my pieces milled. I've got 4 of these doors to do. You see I've got one on my left side that's already clamped up. And we're going to clamp this one and let it set up. You can also nail the back of them and take them out of clamps, but I like to leave them in clamps if I have the time to do that. So all we're going to do is build this door upside down. That is the one thing you need to remember. You always build it upside down. So we have a raised panel on the front. This is the cut that goes in the back, and everything slides into it like that. So here we go. We're going to glue this first. And I've also set up a 90-degree angle here. And you can use any piece of board that's straight. That's all you need. Screw one side down, put one screw in the other side, and then take your square and check it. Make sure it's square. So we put a little bit of glue in here. I'm going to put it on the back, the end, and then on the front of that tongue. But you notice I'm not putting any glue up here. And the reason for that is I don't want it to squeeze out here in the front. So take that, tap it back in there. Take your panel, slide it in like that. I'm going to glue this side. Again, keeping the glue away from this inside edge, because once you get glue squeezing up in through there, you just end up doing a lot of work, and it's hard. So I usually try to keep it out of there so it doesn't happen to start with. I'm going to tap this to where it is lined up. Make sure both sides are lined up. And then I'm going to flip this up and put some glue on here. Now all we're going to do is just take this piece and slide it right into the tongues and into the grooves that's milled out. Your center panel has to float. So once we get done with the assembly, we'll take care of making sure it's centered. The one thing I want to do here is make sure that I'm square in this corner. Keep my door square. And then we just clamp it in. When you're doing stuff like this, if you keep your clamps this end down a little bit further, it'll help keep this side down. If you pull this up too far, it's just going to lift this right up off of your work surface. And you don't want that either. Just take that and draw it down tight. And before you draw it up tight, just make sure you've got all your corners and everything lined up and straight with each other. Otherwise, you're going to end up having to sand all that off later, and it makes the risk of you losing the square in your door. I never have my center panel as thick as the outside rail. You don't want that to be thicker than your outside rail, because then as you're sanding, you're going to mess up some of the profiles that you have on there. And that's front and back. So for a 3/4 inch thick door, we're usually running about 5/8 thick on a raised panel in the center. That gives us about a 1/16 of an inch on each side. There we go. And that's how you assemble a cabinet door.